Hello everyone and welcome back to Beyond the Apex. We are in Misano now finally, we've been talking about it a lot in Tokyo. We're back Formula E obviously, round 6 and 7 of the Season 10 Championship. Double header in Italy.
Yes, obviously I think this was substitute for Rome, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
But I genuinely think this was a great substitute. I mean, Misano's a track, obviously it's used in some of the feeder series. And it is just such a good track for overtaking, and we definitely saw that this weekend. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a permanent circuit, obviously, like you said, we used for feeder series as well, and a lot of bike racing as well.
Yes.
And yeah, it's the start of the triple threat of European rounds, which
you're going to 2 of them.
Misano, Monaco, and Berlin, and I'm going to 2 of them. God. But there's a lot to talk about. We've obviously got round 6 and 7 because it's a double header. So we're going to kind of do the whole of round 6, break off, and then come back and do round 7, all in the same video though. So let's get into round 6.
Right.
Let's start off bad.
Envision, I feel like I've been saying this every single pod, it's just a poor weekend.
Yeah.
Again, off the pace, no real pace in quality or the race.
It was, I mean, the whole weekend as a whole, like from round 6 to round 7 was just not great for them.
Especially round 7.
They came home very, very sad, to be honest. Not a weekend. I mean, there's nothing to say. That there was no pace, like you said, no race pace, nothing. So we'll move on to Jaguar.
Mitch Evans, take a bow.
Yeah, Mitch Evans, take a bow. It was,
I mean, for quality.
For quality. Obviously, he was on pole. But then in the race, Cassidy had contact with his front wing, which was actually rubbing on the front of his tyre, so that kind of ruined his race because then he was running last. And Evans actually ended up P6. Be able to sustain that P1, but again, I don't think that's to do with pace. I don't think it's to do with energy.
And also to do with the track. I mean, energy was so crucial in this race because it was so easy to overtake. I mean, overtakes were going into every corner.
And another thing about that is it's very energy deficient. The track, like there's not a lot of drivers rely on the regen going into corners, and there weren't actually heavy kind of regen zones in this track. So you are right, it's very energy sensitive, the track anyway. So I think the fact that he couldn't keep it as P1 was literally just an energy thing.
And I mean, I think we saw, I saw a stat, I think it was in the bottom right hand corner at one of the races. I mean, all the drivers had 50 overtakes. Yeah. It was unbelievable. I think their estimate for this race was per race, there would be 1,000 overtakes. Which is stuff we see in IndyCar all the time, but for Formula E, unreal. And it just proves that it just wasn't pace. Everyone was kind of on the pace this weekend. It was just how you managed that energy and how you would do your strategy. And clearly some people nailed it and some people didn't.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I'll go on to Cassidy a bit actually as well, because I didn't actually put this, but they had a huge issue after the race, going into round 7. I think the team spent a lot of time on the car because it just, I'm pretty sure it went red at some point.
Oh yeah.
But they to bring it back from round 7, obviously a double header is really difficult because you've got the race, and if you do end up having a crash or something, you've kind of got to turn it around for the next day when you've got free practice at 7 in the morning.
I mean, Cassidy had a crash in practice as well. We haven't mentioned that. Yes. I mean, that was a weird crash. I don't know why he tried to go around the outside on the grass.
To be fair, they got away with it for that. I was unsure, but they got away with it, and then obviously the race was. And then he came back, and they had so many. I think they did 3 battery changes on the car before round 7.
Yeah.
So, no words really, but a great kind of effort from the team to kind of get him back out. But an okay race for Jaguar, to be honest, in terms of the championship. Anyway, move on to Andretti. Later out the groups, Dennis P10 in the group B. I think that was the last in group B.
Crazy. But again, because he had a barnstorming. I think he made up 18 positions in the race. Yeah. Into P2. I mean, obviously P3 on the road, but we'll get on to that. I mean, it's just, as I said kind of last pod, if he nailed his qualifyings, he wouldn't have to do these great comeback drives. No. He's making the job a lot harder for himself.
He is, but then again, at the same time, he seems to do it with ease.
He really does. And I mean, he is showing his quality. I mean, we've seen, obviously, world champion last year. He's picked up by Red Bull. He's one of the simulator drivers and has done lots of FP1s. Jake has clearly got a lot of talent, and he shows it in the race. His race pace is just on another level to everyone else, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what he doesn't have though, luck with flights.
Oh no! Oh my God!
He never does. I saw on his Instagram, it was him on the flight back home with Jag, and they were on the ground in the plane for 2 hours before they left Italy.
Jesus Christ! And he's had this before as well. I mean, his holiday over the winter, I think. He got stuck somewhere with Chewie along with Jake Hughes, and it was just
He posted, he was like, sorry for anyone on this flight and at Formula E at Jaguar Racing, and I'm like, wow, that's
just never has the luck.
No, literally, but then, like you said, it was kind of a great result from him. P3 on the track, P2 overall. It was really good, kind of for Andretti anyway. We'll move on to DS.
Yes, I mean, Jev, great pace in qualifying, obviously got through to the duels and then made it through to the semi-finals. Van Dorn, on the other hand, was not, and then they kind of had quite good race pace, obviously Jev getting the points.
Yes.
But it was just an okay first race.
It was an okay weekend for them, I think. Well, not weekend, sorry, first race for them. But kind of, I guess, not where they would want to be. I mean, to
be fair, on their performances this season, I think they would take a P6 and P8. Obviously, it's not where they want to be aiming long term.
Yeah.
But for now, it's damage limitation, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Because at this point in the season, you know, we are kind of getting through. We're chunking away at the season. You know, like you said, I think it is damage limitation. They're just trying to kind of maintain that position in the team's championship and literally see what happens. We'll move on to Abt Cupra. That's so weird there.
Yeah.
Abt Cupra.
Abt Cupra, yeah. So I keep on saying Apt. It's Abt.
It's Abt, but
they always pronounce it Abt, yeah.
It's literally Haas and Haas.
Yeah. But you used to do say Haas.
Okay, I say it Haas.
Yeah, but wrong.
Okay.
It was an okay weekend. They showed some pace in quali, but in the end, I don't think they got in the points.
Yeah, but Muller actually pushed Nick Cassidy out for the duels. Yeah. In the group stages, he out-qualified Cassidy. But yeah, I think I said a lot about Cassidy in terms of their battery issues, and like we said about energy, and I think it was just a whole kind of mountain of things that was going on. But I do think Muller showed a lot of pace.
Absolutely, and obviously it was the other driver, it was De Grassi that actually got in the points in the end, P10. But it was just clearly, I think it was just the track. It was about energy saving, and it wasn't about pace.
It wasn't. It was about strategy, and it was about what the team could actually do. Or actually, I'll talk about that in terms of energy. DS have actually they've got a new team principal or team manager. No, I don't know.
They call it team representative.
No, I think it's team principal. They call it. But they've got. Oh my god, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know, I've forgotten his name, but they've got him, and he is like proper on in terms of the energy and kind of strategy. So I think seeing them at P6 and P8 kind of shows the fact that I don't know.
They're starting to get there.
They're starting to get there because what I'm trying to say is Jaguar have lost a lot of personnel in terms of strategy and energy management and all this kind of thing, and they've had a really big staff turnover. And I think DS bringing in that new person that I can't remember.
It's made all the difference.
Yeah, maybe it has made the difference. Yeah, but I'll move on to Maserati.
ERT first.
ERT, sorry.
Dan Tickton, P4, his best ever result in Formula E. Obviously, it's classic ERT. They showed zero pace in qualifying, and then they got their best result in a race that is just basically pot luck.
Yeah, it's true. But like we said before as well, Dan just kind of like goes for it.
He does.
And I think in this circuit,
it worked. And to be fair, so I will state, Dan has had a lot of practice on this circuit.
Yes.
He raced here in Formula 3 and Formula Renault, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think so.
But clearly that expertise, especially on kind of where to make his dive bombs, has helped.
Yes, definitely. I think also the dive bombs are kind of more persistent in theory because you can just like
you can just send it, and especially when there's not barriers on each side of the track, it actually works this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, but yeah, I mean, great result for ERT to be honest.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Maserati. Obviously, go through to the duels. Great
quality pace, and then gets P3 as well.
Yeah.
He's just knocking in these results. He's kind of like the Roland of Maserati. He's just nailing it.
He is, and obviously we'll talk about Darugula, which is the difference. I mean, just out in the group stages. Obviously, I've not put anything else because clearly nothing else interesting happened.
Unfortunately, I mean, where even is he? Was he? Oh no, he did have he had a problem, I think.
Yeah, he had a problem. Which is a shame.
But on a track, I don't think he's raced here because he was in the earlier crop than Tickton.
Yeah.
So he possibly might have raced here in Formula 3. But this, I think, on the European circuits, Darugula will have more knowledge, and he needs to kind of acclimatise to this very quickly.
It's like this is the moment for him. This is it.
But I really do think that in Monaco we are going to see a good result from.
I think so.
I think he had a podium in Formula 2 in 2021. I think he has pace around Monaco. It suits his driving style, and I really do think we could. I think a low points is possible for him.
Well, we'll see, won't we? In less than 10 days, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
We'll go on to Mahindra. Again, I don't.
De Vries nowhere, and then Mortara also just having no pace. Clearly, the Mahindra just didn't get the setup right.
No. And like we said, it's kind of all about energy, this circuit, and I just don't think they got it.
No.
I really don't. Not really much else to say about that. Move on to McLaren.
Oh my god, our pace in quali was unbelievable. I think Hughes came P4 in the end in this quali, and then obviously. Won't spoilers, but he really should have got pole both races.
Yes.
He really had the pace. Obviously, he has raced here in the past. He has that kind of experience here, but he nailed it. And then in the race, it all fell apart like usual.
And Sandberg got a puncture midway through. It was kind of just a bit of a nightmare for McLaren. Like you said, they had so much pace. P1, Jake was P1 in Group B, and Sandberg was P3, and they were both up there. And it was like, hello, McLaren out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, nowhere.
This is what we were talking about last pod. It's so inconsistent with McLaren. We'll have these awful weekends, and then we'll just be able to get pole out of nowhere. There's no consistency at all.
No. And no points. I think Jake ended P13.
Nothing. Yeah. So, Nissan. Oliver Rowland, we say this every time, take a bow. Obviously, he did inherit P1 after Antonio Felix da Costa's penalty, but he was there again on a track that was pot luck with energy strategy, and they just nailed it once again on the podium.
It's great to see, like you said, though, he did inherit from da Costa, who was actually disqualified for a throttle damper issue. It didn't conform with the regulations, which came out after the race. Obviously then, Rowland P1, incredible for Nissan. I mean, absolutely unreal.
He is leading the drivers' standings right now. Oliver Rowland in the Nissan is leading the drivers.
Cassidy sat there going...
I don't even know where Cassidy is. He's probably like 5th.
Well, I think he's up there, but like...
Is Dennis... No, Dennis is in front of him, and...
Is he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'll quickly check.
We'll get into this, but I mean, Oliver Rowland has just come out... Well, I'll say it's come out of nowhere. He has been on the pace, like so much recently. Obviously, we've seen him, like, in the podium most of the time, like, most of the races.
Yeah, I mean, Cassie's 4th at the moment, behind Dennis, Rowland, and Pascal. Obviously, we'll get into Pascal later.
Yeah.
But his inconsistency is really letting him down at the moment. Obviously... A majority of it is kind of unluckiness with incidents. However, he's also not there leading quality, and that is the way it is. That is motorsport for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously going on to Porsche, it wasn't a great result at all. Obviously, Verlaine was out of the points, I think. He had a incident. Possibly no. Where is?
There.
Oh yeah. So out of the points.
And then obviously da Costa not even getting anywhere because he was disqualified. So,
but had good pace. Overall the weekend, but just
again, that's the way it is if you're not conforming to the regulations.
No, exactly. But I do think this race, I think a lot of them, there was a lot of pit stops from incidents because teams realised that if there's a safety car, you're brought back, and with the pot luck, who knows what would happen. Whereas normally they might just retire the car. So there was a lot of kind of teams running off the pack simply because they've had incidents and gone, screw it, let's have a pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, agreed. Right, so we'll take a break and we'll come back for round 7. Right, so round 7, which is the second race of the double header we've had in Misano. We're going to go through the whole teams again to kind of go through it because it was quite different to what we had in round 6, right?
Absolutely. So envision Friends actually showing pace in quali for once, and obviously outperforming Wemmy once again.
Yeah.
But in the race,
I mean, again,
it's just
I didn't watch the race live. I think you did a little bit.
So I managed to find the race on a TikTok live. For people that don't know, I speak Spanish relatively well. I can understand it and speak it quite well. And it was a Colombian stream. It was called Azteca Deportes, I think. And I was able to watch the whole race perfectly fine on TikTok Live. And it was the strangest experience ever. It was just because they clearly don't have words for some stuff. So they'll be like, talking in Spanish and then drivetrain, throttle. And I was pissing myself laughing watching this stream. And then it's just like, because obviously the Spanish, they have the Spanish accent. And then I was just like, Oliver Roland. And I I was crying with laughter throughout the whole thing, but I was able to watch the kind of the final third of it.
The things that you have to do just to
Honestly,
watch the race, like.
Yeah, well, put it back on Channel 4 and they'll be able to watch it properly.
Real, yeah. No, but because you were keeping me up to date with like what was going on, and then I was like, oh, how are Vision getting on? And he was like, sent me a picture and it was like double DNF, and I was like, oh, so far down I can't even see him.
Yeah, but I mean, it was before I started watching, so clearly something happened at the start of the race, and it's just unluckiness from Vision again.
Yeah, it really is unlucky. When we move on to Jaguar, obviously, Cassidy with P1 in Group A. Kind of bringing it back from kind of the unluckiness of yesterday. But yeah, Evans not making it into the group stage.
Which is crazy inconsistency from his kind of pace, because he was so on it.
Well, getting pole and then not even getting the groups.
I mean,
the duels.
Yeah, it's confusing, but I guess that's Formula E.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. At least it's not like Formula 1 where we're like, who won today? Max Verstappen.
Yeah. But I do find, I was watching quali a bit, and it was strange to me because obviously there wasn't track limits in Misano. So drivers were just chucking it into corners, going basically on the grass.
Well, Oliver Rowland.
Yeah.
It was literally like off the track.
Yeah, and it was just, it because they do that in IndyCar as well, they just screw it. Yeah. Make the track fast, just go as quick as you can.
Yeah.
And it does have a little bit of spice to it. Because the cars look like they're being thrown around instead of having to lift off into a corner and trying to go on the exit. They're just like, screw it!
Yeah.
And I mean...
It makes brilliant racing.
Absolutely.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll go on to Andretti.
Obviously, Cassidy got P3 in the end.
Yeah, I can't miss that now.
Yeah. On the line, obviously, I think Abs were already celebrating. The whole team was celebrating, and then they all had to. It was kind of like when Hamilton won the championship in 2008, and Ferrari were just celebrating, and then they had one team personnel going, we didn't win it. It was like that in Ab. They were all celebrating, and then the team principal went, guys, he got us on the line, and it was a bit like that's annoying.
But good for us then. So.
Yeah.
Good for Jaguar.
And obviously, I think Evans was out. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think as well, Cassidy getting P3 really did show that kind of determination from the team in terms of I spoke about it previously. They had so many issues going into round 7 with the battery. And the front wing and it affecting the tyres, going into the wall. It's such bad luck. And then obviously the team were there till I think like 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock at night.
Is there a curfew in Formula E, or do they break the curfew, or do they just not have one?
There might be one, but I don't think it can fall. I don't know enough to tell you, to be completely honest. But they didn't break curfew if there was one. Yeah. Pretty sure there isn't, but. Don't know. Yeah. I'll get back to you on that one. But anyways, they were there till like 11:30 at night, and it kind of just shows the fact that the team is so well put together.
Absolutely, I think Jaguar is one of the best put together teams. They are just really, really solid.
Yes.
And if they want to get a job done, they can get a job done. Yeah. And Cassidy definitely rewarded them with the podium.
Definitely. So we'll move on to Andretti. Obviously, Nato was just out of the groups. Dennis missing out on the duels, but it was like not much at all.
But again, great race pace, great drive to get P2. This is what Jake Dennis does. His race pace is on another level.
I mean, we're saying this I think we've said this 3 times in a row now. It's like Dennis has missed out on the duels. But then and then all of a sudden he's on the podium. And I'm like,
to be fair though, when I was watching, he was complaining so much. I think the strategy. They just didn't nail it with the energy strategy, and he was having to save so much, and his defending was on point. It was unbelievable driving, and Vernon just kind of walked away at the end. I mean, it was pure driver talent that got him that P2.
Yeah, and I think like you said as well, we said it before with round 6. It was a hugely energy kind of important track. It did come down to the line of him having to defend that position, which he did very well.
Very well,
yeah. It kind of shows that he is a world champion.
Yep, absolutely.
We'll move on to DS. Obviously, Jeff got through to the duels, and Vern actually got through to the final.
Yeah, which is fair play, because DS hardly ever have the pace in quality. I mean, I think there was one race weekend early in the season that they did have, I think he got pole.
Yeah.
But fair play to Jeff for getting through to the final.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I don't know, where did they end up? P7 and...
I'm guessing out.
Out.
Nice.
So not ideal for the team.
No, but again, I think points they will take.
I was going to say consistency as well.
Yeah, consistency. If they can start getting in that P7, 6 to 8 kind of area, that is just a solid weekend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for that team, that's probably what they're looking to kind of get towards, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
We'll go on to Abt. Muller was P3 in Group A.
Fantastic pace. And then also in the race, he had such strong pace. He was running kind of in the podium area for so long, and obviously Cassidy just hipped him on the line. I think, is there a time? Yeah, there is. So it was by 600ths of a second that he pipped him at the end. So unlucky.
For a Jaguar powertrain.
Yeah, he deserved a podium.
Absolutely, I think incredible. But they'll take the P4
Absolutely, they'll take the P4. That is huge points for Abt.
But he seems to be making a name for himself.
He does, especially these last race weekends. He has really started kind of getting very consistently solid results, and fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so good to see, to be honest. But
absolutely.
We'll go on to ERT. Ticked him out in the groups.
From the high that Tictum had in round 6 to just normal procedure again.
Yeah, standard procedures, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
And then, Sete Camera was on the pace of Dennis in the kind of group stages, but then obviously just missed out on the duels.
I mean, that's
I tried to kind of spin a really positive note on that bit, but there's not really.
That's basically just he went out again.
Yeah, it was really good, but then he went out, so it's fine.
No.
But going on to Maserati, Gunther was out of the groups. Stark difference to what we've seen previously. Very
strange for Gunther as well. I don't know where he came in the end. I think he was out in the end. No, 12th. But and then Jehan Daruvla with the first points of the season.
Yeah.
Very, very fair play. In a race that's all about kind of understanding Formula E, he nailed it.
Absolutely.
And got that kind of low end of points where he needs to start getting it in just to start getting his pace. Yeah. And I really do think he did outperform Gunther in this race, which fair play to him.
Yeah.
But it's what he needs to start doing. And I think it's the first points for an Indian driver since Karun Chandok in 2014, I think. So, unbelievable.
Unbelievable from him. And I think we said previously as well, he's kind of got a lot of experience in the European circuits, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited to see Monaco, because if he gets the points in that as well, oh my gosh, we're on for something.
Again, we're talking about momentum, and motorsport is all about momentum, and he starts getting these points, he will just start racking them in. Yeah. Obviously, Berlin he hasn't got any experience of.
Yeah.
But
then not a lot of people do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think he'll just start nailing it. Yeah. I hope. Please, dear God, Jehan, get a good result in Monaco. Because if you can bring momentum through to Berlin when I'll be there supporting him, I'll be very happy.
You're going to get a signature on your hat.
Oh, absolutely. We've got 2 pit lane walks as well, so hopefully I'll be able to go up and say hi.
That'd be brilliant. Exciting. So going on to Mahindra. Nothing to say there.
Nothing to say.
Again.
I mean, did Mortara outperform De Vries again? Yep, outperformed De Vries again. Standard procedures.
It really hurts to say, because every single time we do it, we do a podcast for Formula E, Mahindra are nowhere, and it is such a shame. We've said it before. The stuff of testing, to an extent, had a huge effect on the team, but it's just I don't know. I think the team have just been hit so hard.
They really have, and it's just that lack of data and lack of knowledge on how to set up these cars is massively impacts them throughout the weekend. And I genuinely do think they need to take one of these weekends, instead of just trying to get points, they need to just take it as a test session.
Yeah.
Use it as a test session, gather the data, and then move forward from there. Because at the moment, they're just going to keep on getting this consistent streak of just not in the points, nowhere in quality.
Yeah. I think it's a shame, but maybe hopefully we'll see them on the up. But what can you say?
What can you say?
McLaren will go on to.
Hughes on pole, finally got that kind of expectation that was on him in round 6. Really should have got it in round 6, but finally got it in round 7.
Yeah.
But again, nowhere in the race.
No, I mean to go from pole to
what? Oh,
P8.
Yeah, P8. I mean,
that shows you how
absolutely
important the track is anyway.
Yeah, and also I think Sandberg was P5 in the end.
Yeah.
And they were they just fell back.
They did. They went in so strong and then kind of just dropped off, and it was a shame for the team, because it would have been great for you guys just.
To at least get a podium with Hughes, because obviously Hughes hasn't been on the podium yet.
No.
I don't believe. So he needs to kind of break through. And again, Monaco, obviously we saw it last year. We were there. Hughes is on pole. I really do think he will get a good result, because again, he's a European feeder series bred driver. Hughes has driven around Monaco loads in Formula 2. He had good results in Formula 2. He will know that track like the back of his hand, unlike maybe some of the other born and bred Formula E drivers who have the different setup of Monaco. So he needs to kind of get good results in tracks that he knows.
Yeah.
And I think Monaco is one of those ones.
I
He
agree.
needs to get on the podium eventually.
Yeah. But you're also like, he needs to be on the podium in Monaco because that'd be amazing.
Yeah, no, he needs to be on the podium in Berlin. That's where he needs to be on the podium.
Yeah, true. I don't even know where the podium is.
It's that big stage, isn't it?
Yeah, because we went to London and Monaco, and the way it's kind of laid out, in London you can't get anywhere near the podium, really, you're kind of on the track anyway, and then in Monaco you don't see it anyway.
No,
because it's
I think we listened to it whilst we were kind of walking past.
So, but there's the stark difference, because I did Rome last year, it is the big stage, right? And you can go up and you can stand right next to where the teams are, so you're going to love it.
Oh, absolutely.
If Hughes is on the podium, you're
I'm going to be buzzing,
full camera.
Trying to get the camera shots for the vlog.
Oh, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Hopefully we'll see something. But when we got to Nissan, I mean, Roland,
he was leading the race for so long. It was between him and Verline, it was a battle the whole race. They were swapping positions, trying to do energy saving. Yeah. And in the end, I could see throughout the whole thing, I was like, Roland is significantly low on percentage. And it came to the last lap, about a third through the final lap, and he just starts running out of energy and just drops through the entire field. And it was such a shame because he deserved a great result here. He would have been absolutely storming in the championship if he'd got a P1 here. However, it was just unfortunate that his championship rival, Pascal, was right behind him and got P1. But I mean, again, they didn't have great pace in quali, but in the race, Roland just came back like a Dennis drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said before, again and again and again, it's all to do with energy, and it is just such a shame that you can just withstand the fact that how much you needed to get to the end of the race. But that's another data thing as well. The teams having the experience to kind of like with strategy and battery saving and energy saving, and obviously Nissan kind of didn't get that on point this weekend.
Unfortunately.
Or this race.
Because otherwise they would have got a great result.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So Porsche, we're going to Porsche last. I mean, start difference.
In quality.
No. And there's a stark difference from last from round 6, but obviously Verline on P1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely fantastic result. Obviously, he's my driver that I'm supporting in the championship, and at the moment he's ahead of Cassidy. But yeah, it's a fantastic result. It's the first double winner this season, which is crazy to say. Obviously, we've had 6 different winners before. Yeah. But it's great points for his championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but no, let's hope that changes soon. No, it was good to see. Obviously, Pascal, Jake, and Nick on the podium. It is the top,
top 3 drivers, I'd say, on the grid at the moment. Possibly Roland in there. Yeah. Possibly, I don't know who he'd knock out though. They are. Let's be real. Verline, Dennis, and Cassidy are the best drivers on the grid at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we've got Monaco next, and then we've got Berlin. So I'm going to both.
Yeah.
But so obviously we'll have hopefully a lot to say about them. So yeah, we can't wait for that, and we'll see you soon.